Yeah, no shit.
Welcome, everybody.
That's the first thing everyone hears.
We are having a rough little start here, but we're going to go live with Vintage Voyage this week from CBSI, comicbookinvest.com. With me tonight, I've got Ben C. in the ever-present basement bunker storage area of his craziness. Mike Morello is with us from Cover Tunes, and Peter Renna from Dollar Bin Diggin' is here. Just if you have joined us before, you know we're a little bit of a loose live stream of randomness, but we are going to focus on Golden Age this week. We're going to work on World War II covers and talk to some Matt Baker. And if you like what you're hearing, just like and subscribe. Check us out. Check out some other shows. We do 3 Comic Money. On Monday nights, we've got the Tales from FlipSide podcast. And I do Global Comic Safari with Matt Roybal on Tuesday. So check all that out. And check out some articles on comicbookinvest.com while you're stuck in the house looking for something to do and can't get any new books. Always good stuff. Topher's putting out articles with the True First. And the Walker Report's still going. I don't know where that man's getting books, but he still is. And Ben has been putting out all kinds of content. We're heading back for 2 for Tuesday for his homages here real quick. So check all those things out. And without further ado, let's get on to the topic and see what we can dig into.
Yes.
All right. I don't know where else to start without kicking it over to Mike. No, I mean, like, we might as well start on Baker, right? Like,
sure. Yeah.
There's no other logical place to start than with you. So
fair enough. Okay, so this was one of those books that everyone's got their lists of like the books they want, their filler, the keys they're looking for within their price range. And then you've got this other little list off to the side. It's like the 10 books that I'll never own ever unless some apocalyptic thing happens. Well, guess what? Some apocalyptic thing happened. And I actually managed to snag one of those Grail books that I thought I would never get. A couple people have seen this week, but I did manage to get my hands on what I think is the best Baker cover personally. I know it's not the most expensive one, but the best Matt Baker cover, and it is Phantom Lady 16, which I just think is pretty perfect as far as good girl art goes. This one actually, in my opinion, does fall into actual good girl art, and I guess Ben can get into that more, but there's definitely a distinction between good girl, bad girl, headlight,
bondage,
etc.
and like bondage. There's crossover, but
yeah. So I'm super proud of it. I mean, it's not the most amazing copy. It's got a little chew there from probably Silverfish, and the cover is split down the spine. But it shows really well. There's nothing missing. There's no chips or anything. It's just a really lucky deal. And I'm really excited to own it. This book's never going anywhere.
Hey, so. when you score those ones that just you don't think you're going to get the that list of God knows, if it showed up and I had to sell something, could I make it happen? Maybe, but it won't show up.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't even have to. I mean, the price on this was such that I literally could just buy it. I had some. I did a little. I made an offer to the guy. He had it at a price that I was still kind of okay with, and I made an offer. He came back with a counter. We agreed on the counter offer, and I had some eBay bucks to spend, like, I don't know, 50-something bucks eBay bucks. So the thing ended up being really, really affordable, way more affordable than I ever thought it would be. So, and there it is, sitting on my wall now. Well, in my closet at the moment, but generally it's on my wall. Yeah,
it's definitely got the good girl vibe. It's not, there's not all that other stuff in it. She's a little on the sultry side in the pose, but other than that, I mean, it's definitely got the more good girl than some of that other stuff that falls into the Matrix.
Yeah, because there's that whole. I mean, the rest of the Phantom Ladies all have Phantom Lady on the cover, and she's really not in distress. I mean, she's the superheroine of the book. So some of them are headlights covers. I'll give it that, but they always seem to get put into that good girl category. Number 17 is the Grail for most people, and it's a nice cover. There's nothing wrong. I mean, it's a beautiful cover, but if I was to compare the two, this is the one from an artistic standpoint I wanted over the 17. Now, obviously, I would not turn a 17 down if someone handed me one. I would keep it gladly. because it's worth a fortune, but it just doesn't do it for me quite the same way as this does. And I think that I have a feeling that's what we're going to get into right now. Is there's I don't know exactly how many, but probably somewhere between 50 and 75 sort of Baker covers that are on collectors' radars that collect these things, and some of them are pretty poor covers. I mean, they're just not great. Then there's a sort of a mediocre level that I think most people would be happy with. I mean, they're better than most art. And then there's like that top 10 Grail list, like again, Ben, I'm sure you're going to get into more of these than me, but there's the Seven Seas. There's like 2 or 3 of those. There's the rest of the Phantom Ladies. There's a couple of like authentic police cases. There's the Saint. There's what is it? Crime, something with the word crime in it. I can never remember the damn name of it. But it's another beautiful cover. Lingerie cover.
There's that Nightmare cover.
Yeah, there's those too. There's a couple of those as well.
There's Amazing Ghost Stories.
Yeah.
It's the shittiest cover at 16, 17, maybe.
Yeah.
There's a run of 3. One of them's okay, and one of them's like, I bought it in a lot, or maybe on Comic Connect a few years ago. First of all, what up, your man Stan? We appreciate you checking in, buddy.
Hey, man. Good to see you.
I was not listed as a Baker cover. I bought it for a song. I listed it. I don't think at the time I knew it was a Baker cover. I just knew there were none on eBay. So I listed it at some outrageous price, like $1,200 or best offer, and I think I sold it for $800 in like 2 hours.
It's crazy.
It was stupid, and someone was like, "Thanks for the Baker cover," like LOL, and I'm like, at $800, you're not allowed to put LOL, are you? Like,
yeah, really, seriously.
Like, I'm with you, man. Like, I'm thrilled. That said, that cover is a flaming piece of fucking garbage.
And there's plenty of them that are. A lot of those montage covers, for lack of a better word, they're not good. A lot of them don't have girls on them. Let's face it, Baker was known for drawing girls. And for those that don't know, I'm not sure how beginner some of the people that are listening might be, but Baker, not only known for his good girl art, but also known as being possibly the first black artist in comics. That's debatable, but definitely one of the first ones.
Oh, and I don't think it's like, as far as like achievement goes, and like
achievement definitely, yeah,
and like notoriety, like he was
prolific.
Oh yeah. But there may have been some bullpenish kind of people that were working that there's some talk about that. But yeah, but from a fame standpoint and from a talent standpoint, there's no denying that it's Baker.
No, and Baker really, he's always been a bit of a name, but he really blew up, maybe 7-8 years ago?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I first got in, it was same with ECs. It was low-grade Baker, anything that wasn't Phantom Lady, $20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, so there's so many things to back up on. So, Phantom Lady run. I agree. The 16, what a gorgeous book. Like, gorgeous book. One of the top 5 Baker covers for me. But, like, I give spot 5 maybe a 3 or 4 way tie. Cover 18, I thought, like, 17 is great. I get it. Bondage, headlight, ridiculously over the top. Like, I agree. If my, if my kid ever came home with something like that, like, I'd be like, what is happening? Like,
yeah,
the entire run is just money.
Yeah.
The 18 has that Little Red Riding Hood vibe.
Yeah, it does.
If you've seen it. And then I really like the 23.
Yeah, it's the last one, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the last issue, yeah. I like that one a lot.
Bondage cover.
I love that one. I don't know why that doesn't get more love.
Yeah, I don't know. But to speak to the, like, it's probably because when you go to it, I don't know, like, just the art of it. Like, never mind. I retract. I'm back on 18. 18 and 16. 14's the, like, boat one or whatever, driving, but it's just not a good... It's all about, like, I don't know, beyond the facial, like, I don't know, go through the run and, like, you compare it, and it's I don't know.
Yeah, 14 is real blah.
A lot of them are like 22 is that wall one. Like, that's cool. So fast forwarding back to current times, I paid around $100 for this as part of a collection a few months ago. It was that find with all those Mad magazines, and it had the early Mad, which oddly enough ties in up there. Quick Golden Age lesson. Mad magazines are Golden Age. The one on the left is the first magazine size issue. It's number 24. The middle issue is number 12. It's the first Alfred E. Newbaum. And then the one on the end is number 30, and it's a classic cover and first Alfred cover. That said, this also had the hidden Schomburg Miss Fury in it, so paying up for this and getting the other one for $10 was like, okay.
Love those Miss Fury covers. Those were all beautiful.
But I would call this middle of the road at best. Like, if it wasn't for her stance, pose, whatever you want to call it, this would be pedestrian at best to me. And I've sold a bunch of I've sold low grade, 1.8 to 2.5 of that crappy. Sorry, Baker fans, of that crappy, busy, multiple panel cover for like a few $100. Yeah. And I'm glad someone else appreciates them.
Well, I've only owned one Baker book as far as I know. I bought it probably before the craze. I didn't know it was a Baker book, and it happened to be. I bought it because it was the church copy, and
fair enough.
Finally got it graded, and it came back an 8. Not bad, but not impressive for a church. And but it was Fugitives from Justice 2, which is like a crime book, but it's just 3 guys running out of a bank job, and it doesn't do anything. It's not listed as Baker covers. Most time it's on sale, but it was on the slab, and I eventually sold the book from $50 I got it for, and somebody paid I think $700 or $800 for it, and I was like, you know what?
And that was probably a steal for the word Mile High pedigree.
Mile High Baker cover, but in my head, it didn't do anything for me at all.
Yeah.
No. I have one. No, I have a few. All right. This is one of the standout Baker covers in my mind, and one of the few that I own.
Yeah.
No, that's nice.
I love it.
King Kate's a pretty one.
I love the other one too.
It's 3. It's all 3 of them are ridiculous.
Yeah.
One's far more suggestive, risque, Phantom Lady Baker-ish.
Yeah.
In my head,
that's just.
This is definitive good girl. Get the fuck out of here.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
This is that's what separates him, and because you can put this stuff out all day, and it's okay, that's cool. It's this stuff. A couple of the Phantom Ladies, and like Mike said, the 7C covers that are oh, that's why. Okay, I get it.
So maybe Baker was the golden age Adam Hughes, where a lot of times he's phoning it in, and it is what it is. But then when he does it, it is,
Yeah.
You get those home runs, and they're there, but his batting average is lower than you think.
And
that's a good analogy.
Phantom Lady was his thing too, so all the interior art on Phantom Lady stories are his. So maybe, books like that, he was paying a little bit more attention to what the covers looked like instead of some of the staff.
Inspired.
Yeah. Instead of some of the staff jobs he was getting, where he was just like, oh, I got to do this authentic police cases number, whatever, and I need 4 drawings on the cover because there's that many stories. This is, I don't know. Here you go. Sure. I would have done the same thing, I bet. I mean, if it were my character, I'd be a lot more apt to make sure that the cover looked great on my book than it did on some other dude's whatever crime book. I don't. Maybe I'm just.
Yeah, you also don't have everybody else's input telling you what they might want to see on that cover. All right, I want this, that, and the other. It's you, so you can pick what you want to do.
True. Yeah,
that's a good point.
The Canteen Kate. I mean, there's that one where she's lounging. She's got her shirt unbuttoned and her pants pulled up, and God. That's great. I love that one too.
Freaking Tony L. I remember talking about those, and I'm like, oh, those are nice. And next thing you know, you can't find them.
So, what the fuck's the title? It's Easter, and I ate and smoked a lot because that's what happens.
Yeah, totally.
Shit, what is it? It's the first Canteen Kate, but it's one of those. It's a red cover. It's got
Fighting
4
Marine something.
Yeah, Fighting Marines 91 or 93 or some shit. I have it. I have a couple copies actually, but they're cheap. It's like $100 book. So there's a tip. People that want to get into a Baker book that's cheap with a huge upside, you can get low grade copies for $100.
Well, now you're saying that, I will confirm the number for us.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too.
Okay.
There's a few others too. I mean, I think I don't know if I want to give all our little secrets away, but I think take a look for his Zago cover. I think that's an underrated one. I don't know exactly what number it is. It's a girl in a red green bikini being kind of held by a dude on the cover. It's a really beautiful cover. He's got a couple of really good all tops too. Sorry.
How much of the cover is it?
It's just one image. It's a beautiful single image, and the girl is smack in the middle. Really great color. It's maybe a $200 book in a lower grade rather than some of these other ones that we're talking about are multiple thousands. The Canteen Kates, the 7 Cs, the Phantom Ladies, you're talking $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 for low grade copies. So
for Phantom Lady and 7 Cs, I think Canteen Kate's still affordable.
Yeah, in comparison, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a few hundred for low grades.
For the one that you showed, or all of them?
I think the 2 and the 3. I might be getting the 1 and the 3. The 1 is the one in my head is the one you like.
The lounging one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at a list right now too.
Fighting Marines 2, number 2.
Okay, so 97 2. I was close.
You were in the ballpark. You were gonna
good.
You're gonna lap it.
120.
You what?
It was $120. It looks like a good plus copy up on eBay. Just to kind of a good is $90. So yeah, on the lower grade, you're looking like around.
That's not bad at all, right?
Yeah, fair. You can get one for $75. Mostly seem to be good.
If you go,
I don't know anything about Golden Age. I'm going to be like little stat guy here. So when you guys want to know what a book number is, I'll look it up. I'm the unit anyway, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're just going to put them on your watch list of.
Yeah, I'm just like, learn. What am I looking for here?
You put on the watch list and you wait for one of the sellers to go, fuck it, 20% off direct cost.
Yeah, exactly.
I realized that. Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, I'm just excited about the topic. So
I am too, brother.
My other favorite is sort of I don't know, it's not an unknown one, but I think it's much less known. It's the Crime Reporter one. It's the girl running away from the shooter, blonde girl with the lingerie on, and I mean that's a book you could still get for $200-$300 too. And I think that's another one like the Zago that's a little bit underrated at the moment.
Crime Reporter 2.
Crime Reporter 2, yeah, pretty much all black cover. It chips pretty easily by the look of things, but it's a gorgeous cover. I think it's one of his best as well. I think it's pretty close in impact to the 16 that I showed before. It's not quite there. It's probably more that level of that. There's one Authentic Police Cases that doesn't have all the panels. It's just a single image, and that one's really expensive. Hardly ever shows up. I forget what number that is. I think it's like, I can't. What number it is. Used to be better at memorizing this stuff. It's one of the Authentic Police Cases. It's the good one. There's one really good one, but I can never remember the number for it.
Is it 6? The first one?
Yeah, 6. The girl with the red skirt on.
Red skirt.
The white top falling.
Yeah, that's the good one. That's the
Authentic Police Cases number 34. I don't know if that's right though.
No, it's 6. It's 6.
No, it's like 99%. It's 6.
It's definitely 6. He may have done other ones too. There's other Authentic Police Cases that are his.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's
that 6 is only penciled by Baker.
Okay.
The inks are some dude.
The other one that gets high dollar, and it's not any of the titles we've mentioned. It seems like it's that Cinderella Love one.
Oh yeah.
God, I don't know what number it is, but it's like
20,
it's very
20 the Mardi Gras cover.
the Mardi Gras
That
cover.
one,
That one, yeah.
I've done it on classic cover of the week like 3 times because every time I take a break, I like won't do that for like a year, and I'll come back and be like, "Oh, what's a good cover?" That motherfucker.
Yeah, that
Mardi
one's
Gras.
unbelievable cover.
That's
Volume 3, number 25.
Can't touch that. What'd you say, Pete?
Volume 3, number 25. If I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a monster.
That's a fucker that goes for like a few grand in low grade.
Yeah, I've never seen
I
a
haven't
copy.
I haven't seen a copy in years and years and years and years. There's that Savage Crossed homage. Z
Oh,
and
I saw that with with everybody
That-
X'd out.
Dude, that fucking crossed
Oh,
homage.
yeah. I see the homage. Yeah, $20.
For anyone looking to get into that, man, like they do a Punch 12. There's the
there's a Black
Wonder
Hat.
Comics 3, Terrific 1, Terrific 3, whatever the fucking stupid, amazing, whatever the amazing one is, the Centaur cover, the
Yeah.
dude tied on the ground with a snake. It's so bad, but it's good.
Yeah, that's a good little. I mean, if you're looking for some Golden Age homage stuff, that's a good little run that often you can still find for nothing.
Except for the Punch. If you can find the Punch in the back issue bin, rock and roll. I think it's
selling
issue
for
10. What, Peter?
Has it sold a few times? I haven't watched it in a bit.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know I somebody said that we had a Golden Age page on G Plus like right near the end, and
Yeah.
somebody shared that, and we're all like, "Oh, those are neat." Next thing you know, everybody and their sister bought them, and I was just like, "Wow, they're cool." I don't think they were exceptionally high printed. I mean, crossed 100 variants.
Christ.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's-
not to mention, like, there were 3 variants for every issue of Crossed 100 at least.
Mhm.
I don't know why I know all this shit outside of, like,
you're
well, because when I found out, I think, like, fuck, I'm never going to give the right person credit, and I feel bad.
No, I don't remember what it is. Hold on.
It was a long time ago. Somebody told me, and I remember talking to you about it and being like, oh, I'm going to buy, like, a bunch of this shit. But, like, I'm not going to say anything because I want to get accused of pump and dump. But, like, these things are not common. And then Midtown, I mean, I put 25 quantity of every single one of them on Midtown into my cart and then checked out, so it adjusted it down to what they had left.
Whatever they had.
Oh, Christ. And, like, not once did I mention it on the site or G+, but yeah, I sold through those, man, so many times. I turned those into real Golden Age.
One of the Punch 12 came up. It's number 18 for Crossed, and there's one up for $70 discounted right now.
Yeah.
Their normal listing is 88, but they got it 22% off for whatever reason.
All right,
Actually,
we're
in Boston.
shifting to, what are we shifting to?
You want to talk about bad? We haven't talked really about that group of bad covers for Baker. The different, like, I mean, we talked a little bit about the bad and the good. I mean, the bad ones, the ones that you kind of want to stay away from. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say this because if you're just getting in, the only way to afford Baker is to buy some of the montage covers. And there's some of them have some good panels on them, but they just don't have that same impact that the single character covers have. I think if you really want to get your hands on something you're going to be proud of, one of those single character covers is really what you want to try to get your hands on. You're probably going to have to steer clear of Phantom Lady and Seven Seas and that Cinderella Love, but otherwise you might be able to get a fairly decent one for $150, $200, $300, if that's your price range. The other ones you can get still, I see them in low grade for still sub $100 for some of those montage covers. I stay away from them. I don't really like them, so I don't spend my money there. I'd rather wait and get a better one.
I'm telling you, the first appearance of Canteen Kate, like,
well, that's different. You're getting your first appearance in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the upside to that book is so huge.
Yeah. Agreed.
That said, go back and look at the run, Mike. 1 is a montage for Canteen Kate. 2, I think 2 is the best. 3 is her walking to the showers and, like, all the Marines looking. I don't know, man. Go back. I appreciate 1, but I think 2 might be the winner.
like the one you have the best. That by far, it's like the 16. So that's that weird thing, right? Where like the number one's the one that seems to be higher in the market, but I don't think it's the better cover.
I think it might catch up.
I hope so. I think it should. It's a better cover. Same thing with the 16 for Phantom Lady. I think it's the better cover. I just
16 is better than 17. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
16 and 18 hold like. I would not be any more elated or disappointed to own one over the other.
Yeah. Is 18 the Red Riding Hood one?
Yeah, like they hold. Yeah, like they hold. For me, they hold equal. Like I don't even know what to compare it to because they're so dead like together that I just like. All right, just happy to eat like whatever one. Not to be picky.
Okay, since I don't have many books to show off, I did realize I had this cross run sitting in the basement here, so I was just going to show what we were talking about.
Yeah, do it.
Because I'm terrible at pictures on this show, so because we don't plan ahead. So this was the one we talked about. The Baker. So this was crossed number 16. Another one was the spider cover.
That's that LB Cole suspense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is issue 12.
I like this game. I can tell what they are. No, that's the other suspense. That's suspense
nice.
3.
Yeah,
sweet.
Suspense 3.
That's that Schomburg that everyone's like, I don't know what the best Schomburg cover is. Like, it's that one.
Yeah, it's that one.
That one, dude.
And some of these covers are less mutilated than others, and this is one that's not too bad. The spider one's not too bad. You know, it just puts a cross on their face. This one is that...
That's that Terrific Comics 3, right?
I think so. That's a weird one to me.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know, one of my personal favorites is
I was like, I know that one.
The Exciting 9. This one I'm not familiar with.
That's that mysterious adventures.
Yeah, it's a pretty one. I mean, it's a nice skull and all that. It's
got the skeleton.
I'm like 92%. It's that.
You got the Black Cat 50.
One.
So that one.
Nice one.
And then there's the. This is that Centaur you were talking about, right?
Yeah. What a terrible fucking cover. That book in low grade, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, so that's a weird one.
Like, yeah, dude. Like, it's not even bondaged. He's bondaged and like hog chained.
Yeah, I don't want any parts of that one.
No, man. What the fuck?
And then the punch we talked about.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, and that's cool. Actually, I mean, it's got the red cross on it, which doesn't actually detract as much as you.
It's not bad with that.
So, I had a bag break on me though.
Damn it, Ben! There's one of those Canteen Kate number 2s up right now.
For auction?
Yeah.
Might be a good time to grab one.
It gets savage.
Is there a best offer?
On a positive note, I have heard a couple people that don't do direct deposit have gotten their stimulus checks in hand.
Yeah, I heard that too. My dad told me that.
So it's a good sign. Let's get
that money in the economy.
Let's use that money in the comics.
Yeah.
We got to put it back into the economy, gentlemen. We might as well put it back into ours.
What else are you going to buy?
I do. I already did. I did last week.
You don't need gas. I'm sure we're pretty well stocked on food and toilet paper at this point.
Right.
What else are you going to buy?
Yeah.
Right. Funny books. Then they can double as toilet paper if you buy dollar books.
I have a lot of bulk
that ones. You just...
all the LCSs around. I mean, everywhere are closed. So like, I can't sell bulk. So I got plenty of copper age toilet paper.
There you go. Yeah. Might be a little brittle.
No, dude. Double ply.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Just watch the staples.
Yeah, right. Take the staples out and then use the whole wrap.
Don't want any accidents now.
Why are all the centerfolds missing on Ben C's comics?
Start selling lots of centerfold missing books. All my fucking.
That's not boxing, folks.
All my dollar books missing the centerfold. All right, can we shift to World War II covers?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like that. I like that. I think we need more
Don't
time.
say better. Don't you dare say better.
I don't like it better. Well, I mean, it's a far deeper subject, right? Like, I guess that's a good place to start. When you get to Golden Age World War II, like, you can't even do war. Because war is so broad, because there's that whole, like, I mean, there's all the DC stuff that's not World War II. Like, it's, I mean, I guess it kind of, like, fuck. I'm going to go down another rabbit hole that I can't go down right now.
Go ahead.
No, do it, man.
Yeah, why not?
There's I'll go back to it. Like, with World War II, you really have the patriotic and the, I don't know what else to call it besides wildly racist.
Well, yeah.
Like, I don't know how, like, I don't know what else to, like, what the fuck else do you call it? Like, I mean, there's even the Superman, one of the most popular or most infamous Golden Age Superman patriotic covers is the Slap a Jap cover.
Mm.
If anyone's seen that, with a newspaper flying off the press, and it's just like, and we got started.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different time back then. I mean, you got Mickey Rooney and Breakfast at Tiffany's just rolling along.
Oh my God, that's so racist. That whole part.
I mean, we've got Mandarin is now Shang-Chi's father because, well, we don't really want to go back to Fu Manchu. It was a different time.
Yeah.
So that said, when you get into the World War II stuff, when you get into the patriotic, I think there's also the subdivision of, or the crossover of, the classic Hitler, Tojo, how much fucking way too stoned. Wow, Mussolini. I had to look at an actual fucking book I have. Apparently that I knew that corner was tricked. Never mind. Usually have that like hat trick, or some pair, or you just have the Hitler cover. You don't usually see like just a Tojo or just Mussolini cover.
Not many.
No.
Yeah, I'd be hard pressed. That said, the amount of Nazi covers, the amount of, I mean, Jesus, almost every Timely run, like Captain America 1, like right off the bat, it's just Captain America punching Hitler in the fucking face. Like, like what a way to start a like comic line. Just like, oh, have some. Yeah, man. And then outside the Timelies, you have the Fawcetts, you have the super no-name stuff.
The Fawcetts are not nearly as wildly racist on the average.
No, they're far more patriotic. The Mac Raboy.
Oh,
we
yeah.
talked about him before.
But
even his Green Llama stuff, a lot of V for Victory stuff. There's that JSA cover. There's a really popular, not Kirby. I'm fucking losing it. Joe Kubert there. All-Star Comics 11. Really nice fucking red cover. That's really patriotic. DC, like, Batman was never... I can't think of a real racist Batman cover. Where, like, I defy you to show me a World War II related Timely cover that doesn't make you fucking squirm.
Oh yeah, they were rough.
Well,
and to be fair, a lot of it was Schomburg. And then when he wasn't doing Timelies, he was doing other ridiculous, exciting...
Oh, the airbrush covers, yeah.
Yeah, no, I meant the Black Terror, the early.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was doing other World War II, like, I think it's Exciting Comics... Oh, fuck, I don't know. He's literally... he's the master of the busy cover. But it's a fucking steamroller. And he's just steamrolling over, like, oh, like the Japanese soldiers. And it's like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid one.
Wild, wild times.
35. Exciting 35.
Yeah. The exciting comics were a little bit more graphic.
He's shooting them. He's shooting them while they're running them over with the steamroller because the steamroller's not enough.
Well, there's a nice one with him with a Gatling gun or a machine gun floating around. I mean, Black Terror didn't mess around with people.
He's rocking a Tommy gun in this one while the kid sidekick is got the wheel.
I mean the neater standard stuff. That's there's some good stuff. Fighting Yank, the Black Terror, all of them were very very propaganda war type books. So we're gonna beat them all and let God sort them out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened to Ben C. He's focused on something.
I did. Well, I lost myself down quite literally the rabbit hole. This is a fine example of just ridiculous crossover.
Surprise!
Like
Easter.
right.
Easter.
Like
/ Happy Passover.
I mean, everything about it is just.
Peter remembered he had a drink.
Deliciously
My coaster stuck to my glass. Oh shit!
What an insane
Drink's almost gone.
And this is a timely.
Oh, that's a forgotten timely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Comic Connect. I love that. Comic Connect is the king of hey, we got an Action 8.0 and fucking Rusty split up, all surprised that we listed as racist WWII cover. That's all it was listed as.
That's their notes.
Fucking, you got my bid.
Hey, Ben?
Yo.
Just before we get, I had a question I meant to ask you before we got off before the Baker stuff. Before we got off the Baker stuff, it seems like at some point there was a group of covers that had for a long time been thought of as Baker covers that aren't. When did that shift happen? When did people discover that? For instance, all top 13 and 14 were listed as Baker covers for a long time, and then all of a sudden they weren't. Because I found multiple lists that have them, older ones that are outdated now, that had them both of those. Those are the two that come to mind that had them both listed as Baker covers.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I didn't think I got it in 2011, but I don't think I started buying Golden Age till late 2012.
Okay.
And Baker, Z said it earlier, Baker wasn't. Maybe that's the answer, is that stuff started shifting when Baker started getting really popular instead of. You got to remember in the 80s and the Gerber Guide and stuff.
Yeah.
Those days, I don't know, man. Shit wasn't quick to get corrected because there weren't people. I would suggest even 10 years ago, there weren't people talking and investigating and communicating the way there are now.
Right.
Probably CGC and people were grading it and they're like, no, you can't put Baker cover on there. And it's probably all tied to that. The
question too is is it refuted or did they just do what Z said and be like, oh, you can't put Baker cover on there because we're not positive?
Yeah. Well, I think the two that I'm talking about are clearly not him. And one of them is, they just are. The style's just not right. And one of them's clearly Kamen. The other one's going to ask. Yeah, and the other one's listed as Feldstein. So I'm assuming that's right. It's also in Seduction of the Innocent, the other one, because it's a Headlights cover.
Feldstein. I'm just shaking my head because Feldstein's an incredibly distinct style as well.
Right.
I feel like that's getting JSC and Adam Hughes confused. Some people might be like, that's not, I don't get it, but that's definitely wildly different styles. It's like Scotty Young and fucking Frazetta. Like,
I don't think you want to say that.
But it's
What
not the
else is he
same.
talking
I mean,
about?
it's just so
That's a
different.
little insulting to Feldstein, but you know.
Because here's the Feldstein.
Okay.
Hold on, let me.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, it's a gorgeous book.
Yeah.
Now there is Baker art inside this. I think there's a Phantom Lady, or maybe a Rula story. I forget what it is that's him. But so that's the Feldstein.
Your man
And then-
Stan asked earlier if you had seen any interiors, Baker interior.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Jumbo comics have Baker interiors, and that's a really cheap way to get in. If you want just Baker art and you like his panel art, those Jumbo comics, man, you can get a lot of those for $20-$30 in decent shape, and they almost always have at least one story in each of them. Some of them have even more than one. So that's a way to get in, and a lot of them are. I'm not sure if those are Phantom Lady stories. I don't think so. I think those are a different character whose name escapes me now. Ben, do you remember what stories are in those Jumbos that are Baker?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't know interiors. I'll be the first to admit it. Let's
That's
go
part of the confusion. Yeah, if they're doing interiors, people might list it that way and just assume they did he did the cover too.
I mean,
and that's the Cayman. That's the Cayman that I was talking about.
Yeah, I was looking at that number 13, but there's two listings that mention Baker, but they might be mentioning the interior because they do mention Phantom Lady in the listings on eBay right now.
Okay, so there's Phantom Lady stories inside these. I don't take them out very often.
Yeah, because there's two, again, the all top 13s that have Matt Baker and Jack Kamen, Phantom Lady. And then there's another one that's got Matt Baker, Phantom Lady. So it must be inside.
See, Ben Samuels is adding some notes here. Victor Fox set up Ghost to ape him on Sonny and Junior. I didn't see the first comment. There was one.
Well, he
before
was
that
saying he was talking Feldstein, and that his early stuff is real hard to ID because it kind of morphed very quickly.
I guess my confusion would be confusing it with Baker is my especially with the Cayman, like he's known for most of the run anyway, isn't he?
Yeah. Other than the two that are Baker.
Right.
I forget what numbers. The red one, the mostly red one, and then there's one other one, I think. The rest are not Baker. Sky Girl, by the way, is the Baker art that's in Jumbo. Those are the stories.
Sky Girl. Okay.
Yeah. So
you're versed in your Baker, sir.
Yes, you are. I'm taking notes.
I'm sorely lacking there.
Oh yeah, no, I don't pretend to be an authority on it. I just enjoy it.
I'm certainly not. I've gotten into it over the last few years. I never thought I'd get a good one. Now that I have a good one, it's like X-Men. Like I wasn't going to collect the run of X-Men, and then all of a sudden I got a number one. I'm like, oh well, shit, I'm going to fucking collect X-Men.
Well,
now.
yeah, if you get one.
Yeah, I got the hard one out of the way. Well,
yeah, I still got to get one.
Yeah, that's a toughie,
but sometimes that's a bad plan, and you know.
Yeah, no. And I'm like, oh, I got to get a giant size now. I got to get a Hulk 81, and then it got deep real fast.
A bad plan is like collecting runs of like 80s, like Flash Volume 2 for some reason. Just to do it.
Yeah.
Ben and I have said this before. Is sometimes you pick a run, you're like, oh, there's only 20 books, 10 books.
Yeah, no problem.
5 books. Those books are impossible, and you never see the one that you need until you don't want it anymore.
Yeah, or until it's $10,000.
I was gonna say, isn't that what's fun though? Like I'm still working on that Weird Mysteries run. I get a Voodoo run. Not complete. I mean, but it's those, and I'm not actively chasing it. It's more fun to, you catch an issue at a show. I slowly.
If you remember, you run across one.
Yeah.
Exactly, Peter.
Like you don't actively go out. I'm not trying to fill like my Uncanny or X-Men run or my Spider-Man run, but sometimes I run across and be like, all right, I know I need a lot, sub 100, so let me see if I got this one or not.
Yeah.
Did he leave with the camera stuck?
It's just on me.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's me. You had those books up. I get a little distracted sometimes.
Oh, look, I have no idea if he's even looking at the fucking camera.
Well, Ben's like talking, but Mike's talking, and Peter and I are just on the side. So
yeah, I'm just sitting here drinking and listening.
Sorry, Ben. Get back to the World War II stuff. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry about that.
No, it's good, man. I'm glad you did because we got a lot of good information from Ben Samuels. Here's an example. It's one of the first. It's out of that group of Golden Age books with the whole Detective 31 that I didn't get, and FPC and All-Star 8 and Fuck My Life. But again, this was like, I think I paid $50 at the time.
Skyman.
Oh, yeah.
It was fantastic. Like, I call it a World War II cover all day. I mean, there's a Japanese scientist in the background.
Yeah.
What is that? Number 2?
It's number 2.
It's a little bit of it's a little bit
missing?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely got the World War II vibe, but it's also a little bit sci-fi. It's a little weird mix of stuff.
Yeah,
it's malaria,
mustard,
anthrax, typhus, and cholera on a fucking shelf. Like that's World
At
War
a distance, it looks like he's shooting condiments.
Yeah, no, he's shooting fucking
First appearance condiment king.
Ketchup and mustard at the same time for your McDonald's hamburger.
Exactly. That
I see it now.
cover you can have for $100, I think, in like when I say low grade, I think it was like a 2 to a 3.0, like fair, nice enough copy. That reminds me of the headline.
Oh yeah, don't even want
It's
to talk
been
about
so long. Yeah, I know. I bought that. I bought a Bronze Age collection, and at the very bottom of the box, there was a little fucking manila envelope. You can't make the show. I guess you could make it up, but why would you? Fucking stupid. I have pictures of this shit. I have pictures of this big wooden chest driving it home in my fucking truck. I'm like, I think I'm going to lose issues on the highway, putting all the Defenders on top. Like, and it had that headline in it, the last issue of Smash, the last issue of Lana, which is a timely romance, I think late 40s book. It was number 7, and it had a gorgeous Submariner. It was a late number. It was once it reduced the size. It was Marvel Comics after Timely, before Atlas. I ended up trading it to Ted Superworld. I don't know, for a stack of horror.
Yeah, I recall it was a pretty good deal, and you were pretty happy.
I was thrilled.
Then at auction for a crazy number or something.
No,
you had seen it auction.
The headline I found in the bottom, beautiful Japanese scientist, bright red, like crazy angry cover. One had just sold on eBay in good condition for $2,500. I was like, oh fuck! So the first thing I did was contact the lady and get a money order in the mail to her.
Money order?
More, yeah. I had bought it from her, and it was her husband's, and he had passed away, and like fucking
Golden Age at the bottom of the copper books,
Yeah, man. Like, so when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, I gotta So I gave her a lot of extra money.
Just the money order thing. I haven't thought about money order since I had to pay rent in college.
Well, because I didn't want to drive back into the city. Like, it was like an hour and a half drive, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
that way. I've done a lot of money orders for early eBay.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just she didn't have PayPal.
Right.
I had this
lady down in Boston that like she came out this way for work, drove past the LCS, which is just a gaming store that I'm buddies with the owner, and like brought in a Hulk 181, a Punisher one, an ASM 129, and like 4 other top bronze books. He called me immediately. I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
I'll take those.
I'm absolutely interested. I bought those on the spot, and then bought literally this big 8-foot wooden trunk full of fucking Bronze Age books.
And 5 Golden Age at the bottom.
I traded that headline for 5.5 old label Tales 39 Suspense First Iron Man. Which all I want to do is trade that. I want to get out of silver. I want to turn silver into just a Batman run.
Well, we all got dreams, man.
I know, and that's the fun. It'll never happen, but you gotta
I trade all that stuff that I wanted a while ago, and now I'm freaking trading it to fund foreign purchases and continue down the Mary Marvel path and all this stuff that 3 years ago wasn't on my radar.
Yeah. Honestly, even since we've been doing these 2 podcasts together, my whole collecting has completely shifted. I don't even look at anything that isn't Golden Age or foreign the last 2 weeks. It's driving me nuts. I was up till 4 in the morning. And John contacts me. John contacts me on Hangouts. He's like, I thought I was the only idiot that was still awake right now.
I came down to check on something. I was wide awake and I had a book to list, and I was like, all right, or to ship. So I came down and did it and dialed up and saw something that was like, oh, you were talking to Matt. And I'm like, he doesn't stop, does he? And all of a sudden you chime back. I'm like, oh shit, 2 of us were freaking up.
4 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about Spanish Conans.
Yes.
What the hell's going on?
Oh, we lost Ben.
Oh no!
No, you didn't lose me.
Okay.
No,
Right.
I
I might go refill a beverage in a minute because Peter's inspiring me.
All right.
Right.
I got more nonsense to show off.
All right. Well,
Yes, Ben Samuels, Ted
I
Van
bring a
Leeuwen.
cooler for podcasts, so I'm ready.
that's a way.
Ready
Listen,
to roll if need be.
I was bringing the bottle down, but I've learned on Sunday night that's a poor choice because it way goes further than I think it's supposed to.
Yeah, it sets a bad tone for the week.
Yes. So, especially when I got to do another one on Monday, and then Lane shows up. So that was a bad Tuesday. My liver was mad, and my brain was tired, and all was bad. All right, I'm gonna go get a beverage. Ben, you continue what you are showing off. Do you want me to put you single screen, or you want to just stay where you're at?
No, stay in case you don't come back. That kid. We had talked before about restored and how, in very rare examples, it's I will buy a restored book. It's never a placeholder or anything. It's if I'm buying it, I'm committed, and that's my copy unless I come into something.
Yeah, it's got to depend, like the price and what is restored. Like,
yeah, the degree.
I have a bias, even though I'm not buying this stuff for the most part. Just something about that purple label of restored, or even not knowing if something restored causes me like anxiety. Like, I don't know, this copy looks a little too clean. This might be touched up.
That's a good question. Like your confidence, and that's, I guess, it's a really good point, Peter. Is especially in Golden Age, your confidence and ability to detect restoration, is incredibly important. Like, I don't know, man. I'm sure it is in silver too, but I won't touch. I mean, I bought a bunch of fucking raw silver keys last month or whatever, but that's farm fresh stuff that,
you're confident
if this and also, and I can't see it, good for you.
Yeah, and it's the price also. Like, it was cheap enough. That's one thing, but it's investing cash. It's tough.
So this is one of the first books I put on a list when I got the Gerber guide, which I know we've talked about, but anyone who, oh God, I think you can get the soft, whatever it is, the paperback versions.
Yeah, and they're not that bad. The price wise, I saw them on there. Like, I've watched a couple. It's just a matter of like, do I need it now? It's like, if I get it now, I might start buying shit now, and
you will.
I'm not ready yet. I'm window shopping still with you guys on the golden. Like, I still got moderns and coppers and bronzes. I got to tick off my list before I make it down there.
I give you 2 months, and you're gonna send me a Hangouts, dude. I had to buy it. Swear to God.
In the morning.
In the beginning, Peter, I tried to make runs. I made runs of all the Marvel Silver titles, and most of the DC I finished the runs of. All I did was trade it all into silver keys, nothing but keys, and then I slowly turned those into some gold. Anyway, this book.
Yeah, what you got there?
Oh yeah,
Is that Super Snipe?
Yeah. It's class. I mean, like, the devil, like, what is fucking happening here? Like, That is some weak fucking shit, but what a fantastic cover.
That is.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a few $100 when restored. But I was happy, and I don't want to pay $1,000 for a low grade copy. I don't know. I believe in the longevity of war comics, and especially World War II covers.
Yeah, it's too
Certain ones, like the devil in weird fucking gym undies from the 70s, and like that kind of shit puts me on the fence. So like at a few $100, I'm happy to own it. At more than that, I'd be really nervous.
Well, and sometimes you get into those prices that it's the restored market on some of these books that people want is just it's going up. People are less caring about some of it.
It's the whole low grade thing too, right? I mean, I assume it's always existed in gold, but low grade silver, blue chips, everything used to be $500 a point for, I mean, a 2.0 Spidey 1 was $1,000. A raw 2.0 good plus X-Men from 2011 to 2014 was $1,000 to $1,250.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Should have acted then.
I did.
I didn't.
I did for the X-Men, not for Spidey.
I told everyone that would ever listen to me, buy X-Men 1 and FF48 and FF1.
I got
I
the 48.
did all three. Thank you, sir. I did all three.
You also said Fury 1, which that one didn't work out, but the others
I bought a lot of trash. I mean, I could literally build a house out of Demon 1s.
Yeah.
I got one of those too.
Yeah, I got all Demon
100. I have 100 or so copies, I think, at this point.
Oh Lord.
It's not going down.
It's not. I mean, it's gone up with inflation, I guess, as we've gone through.
Post a picture of your huge stack on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, what's in your stack?
Demon goes in waves just because people appreciate it. It's it is what it is.
If Demon's a book that it's a 9.4 or above, that's when you see real action.
Oh yeah,
It's still a badass cover. No,
It is.
I love it.
It's fucking fantastic, and the upside's huge. And if not,
you own a really cool looking book.
I own a short box. Really cool.
Just don't order 100 of them like that.
No, you can wallpaper your house with something awesome if you just get to that point.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna shift to this. That I think again, I get a steal on it. It's one of those. I don't think 6.5 is a weird grade. I think 7.5 is the weird range.
6.5 just had a better than
6.5 is just like a thumbs up with your 6. Like if this is 6.0, I'd be just as happy.
6 to 6.5 and 8 to 8.5 tend to get a little bit of a bump. Where the other ones, people are always a little more wishy-washy.
4.45 even, especially in gold. But this is a classic.
Oh yeah, that one I recognize.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
That's a beautiful one. I love that.
I know it's a classic because it says classic.
Thank God for CGC to tell us these things.
That's how you know you got something, right?
Well, I love the sunburst, so that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, but it's like the Japanese flag.
Japanese flag, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
I got into an argument with somebody that was like, "That's not a World War II cover," and I was like,
"Why? Because it's not Germany? There's no swastikas on it."
Yeah, it was like,
if it's not Germany, it can't be World War II.
Definitely, yeah. It was like, that's definitely like Japanese flag. Okay, whatever, man. Fuck, do I know? Speaking of Nazis,
go watch Midway and come back to me.
Speaking of Schomburg Nazi covers.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool, though.
The original Terradrome.
Yeah.
Right?
That was like a little UFO action going on there or something.
That's cool shit, man.
No, it's the Nazi fucking air suction pump fortress number 3 or something.
Well, it kind of looks like the Legion of Doom fortress in the swamp. Is what it looks like.
Oh, no, sorry. It's the submerging fortress. Again, like timely Schomburg. I mean, what the fuck? What a fantastic cover. I was too lazy to grab other stuff, but
I haven't seen them. I'm just putting comments. I haven't seen the demon ones around like I used to. They used to be everywhere.
Oh, you got a buyer.
They're all in
You got a
demon.
buyer.
I know who said I was selling.
They're all in Ben's house. Is why I don't see them anymore, man. I used to see them in bins all over the place, and now never. I don't even think I've seen one on a wall in a while.
Yeah, this stuff doesn't make it on the walls at the shops near me. They don't put up Golden Age on the wall.
One of mine does, but it's definitely the lower end stuff. But man, you can find some really cool. I mean, maybe I'm just cheap. I don't know, but I'm looking at this stuff. I still want to get in on a budget, and yeah, and I have my sights set on like 5 or 10 covers that I really want that are like 3, 5, 1,000. But there's a bunch of covers that I would love. I'd love that whole jumbo run. They're all like $20 to $50 a pop. That's no problem. They're all beautiful. I don't care if we don't know who the artists are. They're still beautiful. What do I care?
Yeah. Like I got a shop down my way. I know I can go to. I know they have some Golden Age books, but again, they're not on the wall. So I got to find that box and go look in that box. But until shit reopens.
Till you open Pandora's box, literally.
First thing I do when I go back is, you got Golden Age? You got foreign? I want to see what you have. I found plenty of variants. I found plenty of stuff at this place. So
and you think about this too. You never know what's going to get optioned. Machina gets optioned. All of a sudden, all those jumbos are all $200, $300 books. So I don't know. You never know. Cave Girl, the one we talked about 2 weeks ago on Jungle. Who the hell knows what Cave Girl is? But somebody makes a Cave Girl movie, and all of a sudden that book's worth a fortune. So, but again, buy what you like. If you like the way it looks and you think you're going to get it at a price you're comfortable in, do it.
And that's the biggest thing. The price is really the key.
That Japanese flag is actually referred to as the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
Makes so much more sense to everything now. That's why I said thank you.
Yeah.
Ben's life is complete. He's closed out some arguments in his head for years that are just
That's really what it is. I'm like, I'm going to copy paste that, so when somebody fucking says to me that again,
it's not World War II. Go watch A Thin Red Line.
Yeah, there you go.
Ben Samuels here is throwing out all kinds of knowledge on us.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. That's the red cover, that number 11, which is technically her first solo book, and it's her origin. I'm telling you, that's the book to go snag. It's beautiful. That's the one.
I've mad respect for people who absorb and retain. I'm really good with cover and like loose history or like first appearances, Jesus. But like the interior stuff, the relevance of the interiors, I'll be the first to admit I have so much to learn. So, folks like Ben Samuels chiming in and like Mike, your knowledge too, man. It's good to learn.
You guys just talking. My brain picks this shit up. Like that's why I'm looking up covers when you're talking about them. I see it. My brain remembers it.
That's the one.
I was just looking at that. I had that up on my Google.
Oh, there we go. That's not bad.
That's a good one.
That's the one right there. It's not a terrible copy, but it's the only one I've ever seen. And I got it for nothing. I got it for $15.
Oh God!
I think it's important to point out with Golden Age too. Like, I mean, it's with all comics collecting, but there's so many different areas of the pool, man. And like, I will say this too, and it seems somewhat with foreign comic collectors. Golden Age comic guys, for the most part, we're just happy to talk to other people, man, that like appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like,
my God, somebody else knows.
Like, like when you get into CGC and like, Jesus Christ, sorry, Silver Age on the CGC forums, and there's nothing wrong with it. Let's all swing fucking dick. Let's go grab books and swing dick. Like, but there's a much more competitive, and I'm sure there is in the higher level of Golden Age.
Yeah, well.
But, like, that's also just baller shit that I like. When somebody posts to Tech 31 that they're like, here's my 6.0. There's nothing to do but thumbs up that fire.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
But you're like, that's not my life. I don't live
Yeah,
that
the
life.
guy's
You know?
showing off
You have like a 3-second fantasy in your head. That's mine.
6.5
You won't touch it.
6.5 fucking Spidey one, the 6.0 X-Men one. You're like, that's cool. Like that's a great book. Like, but show me something cool.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
fucking
I can
not
see it
cool.
all day.
Like, yeah, you want to show me the 9.4. You want to show me the White Mountain copy of AF-15. Like, rock and roll, man. I'll thumbs up. Otherwise, like, take your Silver Age shit and pedal it down the road.
Yeah, and that's part of why I like that the Phantom Lady 16 for me. I might never see a copy of that again in person. Not raw anyway. And
Not for that price either. Not
definitely
just
not.
but not for that price.
No, I even maybe not at any price. I don't know. I mean, I go to a
Well,
lot
at
of
any
cons.
price, I'll get you one right now.
Yeah, there's two up right now for $17.50. Sure. But,
Yeah, I was like, at any price. You give me $2,000, I'll get you one.
yeah.
Modest
Yeah.
handling fee.
But a raw at a deal, I mean, you know, those days are done, you know, for books like that. The big Bat books, the big Soups books, the big Wonder Woman books, those days are kind of gone unless you find some old grandpa collection in an attic.
And to be fair, by big,
I'm
you
looking
mean
at Overstreet guy.
early 40s.
Yes, early 40s, yeah.
Not mega keys, excuse me.
No, I'm talking the early stuff, the rare, the scarce shit. Yeah, they just don't pop up, man.
Oh, fuck it is. I'm fucking rocking this thing, man.
Yeah.
Yuppie.
Dude, it's this wild, like, twin size, whatever the size below queen is. Fucking
size.
thick-ass fleece blanket.
Full.
Yeah,
So I got
it's
my door open and shit, the fucking fan going. The whole fucking wood smells like fucking spring now.
Oh, this feels like your kind of book, Ben. Stamps Comics 1.
Weird That
Weird
does.
Golden Age books do rule, and #1 issues of Golden Age books rule.
I don't know what Stamps
Number
Comics
one.
is now. I'm googling
I'm
that
looking
one.
it up right now.
Here's my weird number one, Ben. My weird #1 Golden Age.
Yellow.
Tip Topper #1.
Oh, that's a
Really?
Is he looking in a mailbox?
All right, Mike. Now we might. All right, you've motivated me to pull out one of the 4 fucking tip-top 187s.
Now I'm on your radar now with something that I might trade. Okay,
I found another. I was like, I knew I had 3 of the baseball cover.
that's the one I want.
Worth, like, bury me with my Snoopy shit because it's never going anywhere.
Right.
But when I found a 4th copy, I was like, well. By no means is it getting sold, but like I should probably put it into the trade pile.
But trade for a #1 that you don't have, and it's kind of a good girl cover too.
Yeah, I just need the #1s. I'll break out the #1s one night.
It does have a chip in it, just so you see. Pretty good sized one, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Otherwise, it's a pretty nice. It's a pretty nice copy. Otherwise,
Stamps Comics is about collecting stamps. I love it.
that's awesome.
I'm on the cover.
I gotta look that up. Stamps Comics #1.
I was looking at it. Yeah,
I'm gonna probably pull it on the screen. just
Revolutionary
because
War kind of thing going on the front here.
I'll pull it up because that's just it's worth mentioning. That is somebody mentions that we should appreciate it. Like what it is.
I agree.
What
I
is the
agree.
yellow cover? I mean, yellow covers, they pop. I don't care who you are.
All right. Did it hold on.
No, it didn't do anything. That's
just. Whoa.
All right, there you go.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Stamps Comics 1. Thrilling Adventures in Stamps Comics.
Birth of Liberty right there.
I enjoy that the red punch things on the sides, like you're gonna put it in a binder.
Oh yeah,
Like they pre-did that.
it's letting you know right there. That's where
You're gonna put it in your stamp binder. Of course you are.
Wow.
Did you ever
man,
collect
yeah.
stamps?
Ben, new Ben, you are my hero. That is down the rabbit hole of stuff.
Yeah, it is.
and your man Stan, I agree. LB, Blue Bolt,
Oh yeah,
weird
those are
mystery, weird fucking Blue Bolt. I'm gonna tie it. I'm gonna circle it back here. I'm gonna fucking bring it home.
also
All right.
a crossover Ben Samuel.
All right. This is how I'm going to connect. Yes, this is how I'm connecting the ultimate crossover to the World War II, to the obscure Golden Age books rule. Captain Marvel Jr., football, Hitler, Tojo,
is that a
Mussolini.
swastika on his?
Dude, it's Hitler, Tojo, Mussolini. Get the fuck out of here. He carries the ball for democracy. Like I said, people, bringing it home. Tying it all together.
That's awesome.
So what a ridiculous book. I got this last year at Guide. That's another thing. We always say it, but I mean, buying books at Guide is, especially if you have a dealer or a LCS, who knows how to fucking grade. Because once you establish a grade, it's really easy, and I don't care what Guide says, because then after that, yeah, Ben Samuels, man, we're gonna have you on sometime, my friend.
You know your stuff, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have you on sometime.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a good time.
Raboy is one of the few that I like really. His victory covers, as you call them, because they're not a war, I guess, but man, they're the
V for victory.
They're just gorgeous. Captain Marvel Jr. 4 is. I sold one and bought one, and I regretted the whole time I was missing it in my collection.
His Green Llama stuff. Speaking of, that's the other thing with Golden Age. Golden Age is like being really high all the time and making connections because it all fucking ties back together. Like, Green Llama is another great run of Mac Raboy, I don't know how to say it. Don't care. Probably should. I think it's like a 7-issue. That's another run I'm trying to make. I think it's 7 issues. What up, Ben?
That's an odd name for a superhero, I just got to say. Like, you'd think back then they didn't run out of superhero names that you had to go to llamas like that.
But I appreciate the start of green.
Like, you got cougars, you got panthers, you got all these other animals you could have went with. What's it? Fuck it. Llama. You get the green.
Llama.
I think he's more like the Dalai Lama.
Oh, okay.
He looks
like a Pied Piper.
We're gonna have cosmic Llama. We gotta move to cosmic.
I mean,
Llama.
he's got that beautiful cover with him like with a swastika on his back, like carrying it like Atlas.
He's getting ready to throw it. It's like cracked and broken.
Yeah.
Well, first issue
right? We're talking about llama, not
llama. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see the swastika on his back. It's like a big stone.
That flying one is cool with all the planes in it.
The flying one is insane.
That's number 2, right? With a purple fucking backdrop.
Yeah, number 2.
That.
Yeah,
I have the run.
Gorgeous.
I made the run because I bought the number 1 because I have a number 1 collection. I bought the number 5 or the 7.
Ben Samuels with the rescue. He studied in Tibet.
That's Tibet.
So did Richard Dragon, and he had a cool name. It was Richard Dragon.
How do you know that stuff? Why am I on this show? You need to be on this show.
I'm gonna get rid of other Ben S soon, and we're gonna get this Ben S. Oh God!
You mean Stein?
Yeah, Ben S.
Yeah, well, we get Samuels now.
Or Stein.
Knock me off and get Ben Samuels on because he's Ben Samuels on instead of me.
You off.
He knows a shitload more than I did.
Party.
You're our lookup guy.
Yeah, make myself useful.
That Green Llama one's fucking fantastic, though.
Yeah, it's one that I always look at him and think I want to bid on that. I want to bid on it, and then that other book that I like. Oh, I've wanted this longer, so I bid on that.
I bought the 1 because I needed it for the 1. I bought the Christmas cover because I needed it. I think I got the 2 raw from a shop.
I know you've picked up a few random ones at auction. I've seen you post.
Horror.
So, your man Stan, I know we don't feel like we have a theme discussion. But we are going to get to horror because if we derail now, we'll be up till 3 a.m. I mean, the theme is a very loose term here, but more like a jump-off point.
Yeah,
but we're going to do a horror show soon and get into all that goodness.
I'll point out that half the stack of books I brought over, absolutely not World War II. They were just war, so I put them to the side.
Because you're like,
holy fuck, what a bad stack to grab. This is the last book I'm going to show off tonight.
Oh, that one I do love. Hold on. That one is nuts.
This book's unnecessary.
Oh my God, that's so bad. Wait, what, Peter? Look closer, Peter.
I know.
The rats. Oh my God.
If it helps, I'm half Asian.
Wow, that's pretty brutal. Okay.
Yeah.
That's wildly over the top.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, a little bit. The yellow covers.
So.
Oh yeah, we got to do that soon.
That is the end of the run, but.
Yeah, I don't have anything to share. I've not done the World War II thing. I don't know why. I get too much other stuff I'm in. And then, then I get derailed. Frickin' me and Mary Marvel are on dates now, so.
It's none of that. I didn't seek out anything.
No,
except for that Schomburg Nazi cover.
William Clement. Holy racist, that man. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's
so true.
I mean, that one was pretty bad, but we didn't even get into some of the real bad ones.
No, because some of the over-the-top stuff, I figure, it's easier to write about. The second we start talking about it, we're going to start getting screen captioned and shit. I don't want
CBSI racist. Look at them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's just clear that. Let's clear the air on that. We're not
dumping Japanese racist comics.
Yeah, we are definitely making fun of those comics. Not saying these are great. Yeah.
I mean,
they're a snapshot of the time, though. They're like Peter said earlier.
It is what it is. Exactly, Mike. And somebody came at me really hard for posting Suspense 3 and Shock Suspense 6. They were like, you KKK, this, that, the other. I'm like, dude, first of all, eat a fucking dick.
Ben Samuels must know me throwing this shit out.
Oh, yeah, you definitely need that.
It's on my list, man. Don't worry. Western at me.
Along with all 4 foreign printings of
it. As far as covers go, it is a snapshot of the times. It's
and
it's all way wildly over the top, and some people are offended, and they have every right to be.
Yeah. But it's funny. It's not just old 60-year-old guys collecting this stuff going, this was the time that we lived like this and da da da. There's a ton of
not even born yet.
There's a lot of 27-year-old, guys with just too much money that are buying these books because I think I don't want to say they're it's just taboo. It's just things that they can't exist in the world now. It would never exist now, and just to see it and to hold it and go, wow, it's opening a time capsule. You're right.
That's
it's
the
so
difference
intense
between the patriotic and the shock. And that's where Schomburg, I can't say walk the line because, again, that fucking steamroller cover, man.
No, he jumped the line, my friend.
Yeah,
it was over.
But then there's other stuff where you're he's walking a tightrope. And there's a lot of, again, that Air Fighters, that's definitely on the holy shit side.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's not in the top 10 of
No, there's some stuff out there that you're just oh my God, that exists and
was sold on a newsstand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not some weird Boundless book that you're buying these days.
Right. I didn't have to
go this is on the newsstand for everybody.
Yeah.
No, I've looked at a lot of these covers, and every once in a while, one pops up, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's out there for me." And I've seen a lot of this stuff, and went.
That's how some of the horror stuff is for me, and I love my horror covers. But every now and then, I'm like,
yeah.
And inside panels. There's inside panels that I'm like, I can't own this book.
What was that one book McClay showed with the eating the baby? That thing.
Oh, yeah.
That thing is nuts.
Well, and it's like, I mean, it's like all those Betty and Veronica ones. I can't own those. I can't have those in my house.
Right.
I remember
because
that those were high school
you're
girls.
like, yeah, every time it comes up and you're like, don't forget, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
High
just
school.
some stuff that rubs you the wrong way, and you can just I can't have that in my house. If I ever get those, and I do get them in collections, I sell them instantly. I'll take a loss for them. I don't really care. I want
I got
them.
you don't have to take a loss for them anymore, though.
I will never take a loss on them. I'm like, pay up, fuckers, because I respect that it might offend me.
Yeah.
The way that my books offend other people.
Yeah. We also have to remember too that
for my book, so people have to pay for the fucking half-naked Veronica.
We also have to remember too that all the books that we're talking about, all these super offensive books, this is the reason for the comics code. And you know, these artists and these publishers were called out in the 50s for this stuff needing to stop. So while they exist in their own sort of time capsule, comics changed intentionally. In what year was it? 54? Yeah, 54. So I mean, so, you know, now, of course, there's no comics code, but there's ratings on all the books. But, you know, I mean, those things couldn't exist now. It's not possible. The world's just not the same. So, and you, like Ben said, you have every right to be offended by what's on there. But at the same time, if you're a collector of some of that stuff, trying to, I don't know, build that time capsule, like you said, John, it's just like you open that book up and you're like, oh, my God. I can't believe the world allowed this thing to be on the newsstand in 1946 or whatever.
That's the thing. For that level of content, we have to go on the internet or buy an adult-only title.
Yeah.
Like
a
Cross 100, I'm pretty sure they check your ID.
Yeah.
Like, if anyone's ever opened a Cross book, you know what I mean. Like, I opened it and was like, well, I can never open one of these again.
Yeah. I opened a Boundless. I opened one of those Jungle Fantasies once, and I'm like, oh, God, what, oh, I never want to have sex again.
Some of those, you don't have to open it. It's on the cover.
Well, yes, that's true. Some of them are right on the cover, yeah.
I buy shark covers for my kids, and every once in a while there's some of these newer titles that just have sharks on them, and I pick them up or somebody sends them to me, and every once I'm like, okay, son, this is one. You just leave it in the bag. You can't open it. Don't read it. Just leave it be.
So my kids are too young for even DC, man.
Oh yeah.
My kids are like they go to bring home Harley Quinn shit out of a dollar box, and I'm or not. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but and I'm like, yeah, you can't read this. I'm like, they can read. Like I'm like, how the fuck do I like remove all the fucking inside panels? I'm like the fucking comic book.
Yeah, that's why you gotta find. That's why you gotta find stuff that's appropriate and that they like. Like my
problem is all that shit's expensive.
No, you know what? It is. My youngest stumbled. My middle one never did. My oldest did. My youngest one just stumbled upon Bone, and you know what I did? I went out and I found the first lot I could find and bought him all of it.
Yeah,
and he was like $30 for 8 of them because he had one. And Sonic the Hedgehog, he loves it. I bought him a bunch. That's tougher, but I found a bunch of those little digest ones cheap, and he loves it. He's been thrilled. But you're right. The kids stuff is impossible. They never mark it down. They will leave a 12-month-old issue on the wall at cover price.
Beat to hell in a spinner rack.
It's a different time. Now, my son is 7, but when I was 7, I saw Terminator in the fucking theater. In 1984, I saw Terminator on the big.
To be fair, there's also something to be said for like.
I wouldn't show that to him today.
That's all I mean is like parental decisions back then versus now.
I think we're all fairly well-adjusted people, though.
Yeah.
Then, in theory, then maybe you should be showing him that, Peter.
I thought about it. I'm flipping through cable. I'm like, ooh, Commando's on.
No, maybe
not ready for Commando yet.
I told you guys about Full Metal Jacket, right?
Oh God, how old were you when you saw that?
Right.
Shit, Full Metal Jacket was 88, so I would have been 10 or 11 personally.
Yeah, I was 11.
Full Metal Jacket was 88?
I think so.
Oh, then I was
not positive, but I used to know that kind of stuff.
I do recall seeing it way too early.
I literally, dude, I walked. My father, like, had, he blue collar working man. He worked for the phone company. All right, so I was 9. One weekend, he was watching, my mom went out shopping. It's me and my sisters, and they're doing whatever. And I remember walking in and seeing the fucking toilet M16 scene.
Oh my God.
My father looking up, and my father was a Purple Heart Vietnam veteran, and he looked up and was like, "Oh fuck, you shouldn't have seen that." Cool. I'm like, yeah.
Is that disturbing, or would he have been more upset if you saw the tubo coup?
Yeah.
I remember mine. I was upstairs. My parents were having like a little, I don't know, some sort of dinner party, and my brother was downstairs with his friends, and they were watching Porky's.
Oh, I love Porky's.
And I go, and I'm like, I don't know where to go. I'm like, I don't want to hang out with my parents and their friends. And my dad's like, just go downstairs. Your brother will let you do whatever they're doing downstairs. Like, I start to walk downstairs, and my brother stops me, and he calls upstairs, "Dad, he can't come down. We're watching Porky's." And my dad goes, "No, it's okay. Let him go down and watch it." I'm like, my brother's like, "Are you sure?" And so that was my first. That was my indoctrination into nudity. Was Porky's.
Oh,
I don't know how old I was. I mean, the movie came out in '81. I don't think I saw it when I was 4. Yeah. But I mean, I assume I was like 7, 8, 9 years old.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was VHS. I saw that one.
Way too early. Whatever year it was way too early for me to see that.
I don't know. It's crazy though that even our generation though, seeing these things from the 40s, it strikes us as odd. I can't imagine if I showed my kids some of these.
Oh.
They're so far removed. Like, they see some of these horror covers, and they're like, "What are you doing? What is that? I don't get it."
I won't let my kids see a lot of comics that come in. My kids can't see the horror stuff.
I've shown them the Black Cats a few times, and they always look at it like, "Oh, that's disturbing."
Yeah.
I don't show them all of them, but I mean, that one I'm like, I'm so happy I get it. And I'm like, "Look at this." And they go, "Don't you have that already?"
Have you
yes,
seen
but I have two, and I'm so happy.
Have you seen the Chilling Tales run? It's almost more cartoony. It's like Chilling Tales. I don't know what it was before. It's like 13 to 17, maybe. It's like cartoony, but not cartoony in a cartoon like.
Not Tom and Jerry violence.
No, yeah, it's more like scary, like. Fuck, was that done in like the 1600s kind of shit?
Oh, I see.
Like, have you seen that terrifying 1600s shit, like the religious, like, talk about a rabbit hole? Have you seen like the old 1600 paintings of like, or 1500s, whatever it is, where like in the early pictures, like the devil was blue, like.
Oh.
I did this so right. There's all these fucked up paintings from back then that remind me of whatever the fuck we were talking about. I've lost myself.
Yeah, some of the stuff. Yeah, some of these. It is
Chilling Tales.
It's unsettling. Like, I'm looking at it, and it's not like there's not like a lot of blood, there's not a lot of gore, but you just look at the image and
it's creepy as fuck. It's like Where the Wild Things Are on acid.
Yeah, it's just what it is. They're almost drawn like wooden masks, like carved masks, like.
Well,
they're very exaggerated, and
I always throw it to forum, but only because Matt was just talking. Matt showed it off on one we're going to drop Tuesday, and he picked up this Mexican. It's not Satan, but it's Mexican word for Satan, and he's like,
Diablo?
No, but it's like Satan. Satan. Da da da. It's not that. It's Satan and something. It's like Satanica, but male. I don't know. Satana. Whatever, but the whole point he bought it because it's the devil, and he's got horns, and he's red, and he's got devil ears, but he's smiling and looks happy, and it's such a dichotomy. Like, this is the guy you're gonna ask to help you move, not to damn your soul.
You don't just judge him because of his skin color and the horns growing out of his head. He apparently has a very beautiful disposition with the smile. He's very
not the early 50s.
So I don't know, man. It's just, and I think that's the thing is, like, you talk about that baby eating thing that Clay bought, is some of the other countries ran a little bit longer with it. If it died in the 50s here, it died in the 60s and sometimes the 70s, and you find some stuff there that's
like, what haven't we done yet?
There's an international horror group that I don't even join because I'm pretty sure you get it up on the FBI list or CIA list or something. Like there's one that's safe, and then there's one he sends me. It's like torture, death, foreign comics, and I'm like, no.
Don't want my name associated with that.
Watch list.
German.
But like he'll show me a picture. I'm like, I gotta delete that off my phone. God, what is that? But I mean, that's must be what my children think of if they were to see like that Air Pirates. They'd be like, what? What is
No,
that?
dude, I think everyone who sees that Air Fighters goes, Jesus Christ.
Well, but I mean, it's like a double of us because we're the little more like we're that last generation that just saw these movies that were a little too old, and there wasn't a rating. We didn't have a rating system then.
My grandfather was still like the last of it. Like my parents, you know what I mean? Like don't have. I mean, my parents have biases, but not like based on race or anything like that. Like, I think that was the beginning of generations that stopped, where, like, my grandfather in the Korean War, like, definitely you couldn't go out in public without being like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, really? Like, I mean, I knew at, like, 8 to be like, no, we're not going out with Grandpa. Like, love him, but, like, no, man, you do not want to go to the bank. Fuck.
Oh, but I mean, I don't know. Just think of your children's eyes seeing it versus your eyes, because we're just talking. Full Metal Jacket at 10, Terminator at 7 or 8. And my kids, I'm still like in their head.
Porky's at 9.
They're still watching Disney Channel at 8.
Internet.
Yeah, they're seeing all this stuff long before us.
The kid who works for me forever, I had an employee for years. He was literally 10 years younger. And that kid, like, I think I got a mouth and I'm all fucked up. This kid was like, it was like, you have redefined desensitized. Like,
well, that's the thing. You brought up like the internet. Like, could you imagine? Like, I can't imagine having the internet as a kid. I had to find my illicit material when I was a kid. Like, I had to. It was a challenge. It was like a gold mine if you found it.
Thank God, I never left the house.
You were rumors of a kid having a Playboy in your class. Like, ooh, so
for me, the one I could always get away with when my mom was at the bookstore and she didn't know is I could grab heavy metal off the magazine rack.
Oh,
that was the one for me.
Bringing it back to comics-ish. I like it.
Let's reel it back because we can go down a whole
heavy metal. Back to comics. Ish.
Yeah.
I'm with Solo Wookie.
That's a comment.
Yeah, I get. I'm there with you.
Those things, as long as nobody's stuffing it down anybody's throat.
Yeah.
Like, and again, the suspense and it's funny because people never complain about the fucking Nazi covers or the ridiculous, like, I can't even count how many fucking Schomburg, like, you know what I mean? Like, covers out there, but suspense and shock every fucking time. Like, KKK, this, that, and the other, and like that is the trigger button for a lot of people.
Well, the thing to remember is, I mean, these things happened. Like, it doesn't help anyone to pretend this never happened. At the same time, no one is saying, let's celebrate this. I mean, because, there's a pocket of culture that would celebrate some of these things and collect, the Nazi culture and memorabilia, but we can't pretend it didn't happen. It's context. Like, you just be informed, know what it is, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Absolutely true. I just watched Jojo Rabbit last night, and that's a great example of like taking something like World War II Nazi Germany and putting it in a light that's both historical as well as sort of comedic in a dark humor kind of should I laugh at that kind of a way. Yeah, and it was a really interesting kind of human nature study about how I should be reacting in my own home to something that actually happened for real in real life. Exactly. I think it was brilliantly done, but it's one of those things where if you're offended, shut it off or scroll past it or click out of it, or what? I mean, at this point in our culture, you're going to be bombarded with all kinds of things, and you have the ability to just bypass it.
Yeah.
So bypass it instead of,
especially in comics, and especially like,
yeah,
I have to believe that it's Americana. The majority of the people that are interested aren't. It's not people buying. Like, I didn't buy the Schomburg Nazis submerging #3 Human Torch Sucker, whatever the fuck it's called, book, because I was like, I believe in the cause.
right.
I was like, what a ridiculously over the top cover.
Yep.
I want to own that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm the same way with the Good Girl stuff too, because some of that's over the top too. Some of the bondage stuff is a little much, but I mean, you're sitting there going, well, but it depends on what you're buying it for. You're buying it for the artist, because sometimes the art's beautiful anyway. Sometimes you're like, that is so over the top, I have to own that. And like Ben said, and
that's why I collect horror, because it's so over the top.
Yeah. I'm not trying to offend anybody.
Like skeleton stuff, I truly like for the art.
Yeah.
But the rest of the horror that I collect is because it's just fucking ridiculous. It's the same exact reason I collect this war stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just ridiculous.
I just feel bad, like, for my son, that he's growing up in a world without George Carlin. Like, Carlin put a lot of things in perspective for me growing up, where, I don't know.
Yeah, Ben.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just my age. It's just the time, like, there's just that age group where what I find funny is either shaped by either Eddie Murphy, basically, or George Carlin. Like, and that's it for the most part. It's like my sense of politics and sense of right, wrong, like everything is funny, like from a certain point of view. It's the intention behind it. Yeah, it's really important thing. So I don't know. So looking back on some of these covers,
Ben Samuels just put it in a really good way.
I'll put it back up. Schomburg World War II covers celebrate the destruction of Nazism and the Japanese imperialism. Nothing to be ashamed of. Yes, it wouldn't. My God, if people put that up today, it would just be so different.
Well, I think that the line too, like the Schomburg line is, I mean, like the Steamroller stuff is ridiculous, but it's not. That's not the top 10 racist covers that we're talking about when we're like there's a difference between like stereotyping and like, I don't know. We're going down a hole.
We are. We
don't need to go down. Like,
agreed.
Why do I find myself here every time?
No, but it was an interesting conversation we rolled into from comics that we've just kind of got into. Where is the dichotomy of acceptable and not, and where's it? It's just interesting.
I think
it applies to everything in comics to me. It applies to the level of graphic nudity you're allowed to have, like Faithless and Unnatural. Like, Jesus Christ, if my kid ever saw Unnatural, I would not be okay as a person.
Yeah.
But I know that people like it. They wouldn't keep fucking printing it if they did. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that I'm like, okay, just remember, Ben, like.
Well, we're also talking about the beginning of. We're also talking about the beginning. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say with the Unnatural. Like, you brought that book up. Like, I had to buy that Kunkka cover just because I was collecting all of his covers at that time. I'm like, I don't really want this, but shit, I got to be complete. So
somebody should have drawn that line, And
it's just like, all right, it's in a box somewhere. I don't even know where it is. But yeah, I had to order it just because, like, well.
But then you got to think at some point your child may have to sort through those books, and you forgot it's there.
Yeah, if I get hit by a car one day, and I was like, well, somebody's got to go through this stuff. I'm like, what the hell? What is this Harry Pop-Tart book?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Robert the other day, and his wife hopped on right before we did a show, and she goes, well, let me tell you a story. My introduction to foreign comics is I come home, and my husband has 10 Japanese Playboy spread out on the table. He's smiling from ear to ear, and I go,
they're for Spider-Man.
Do we have to have a discussion?
No, really, honey, look, I promise. Inside.
Spider-Man's in there.
Put a label on the bag for Spider-Man. Apparently.
And I have some of those, and I put them in a separate. They're not in a comic box. They're in like a separate box somewhere else. Just because I'm like, at some point, the kids are going to roam free through these in my mind. Relative. I mean, there's some that they're not going to touch, but because of value. But I'm like, if you want to read freaking the Turtles one I got, read it. I don't care.
Yeah. Well,
I had a couple of Zenoscopes, and then I had a kid, and I'm like, I gotta sell those.
Yeah.
Those are a couple of those, like one out of 100s, the all nude ones. I'm like, those have to go.
there's plenty of stuff from my dad's that I found when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to hide it in the same places.
You're gonna find a better spot.
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna shift off and head back into a closer because we gotta close this up.
Yeah.
Golden Age.
Blue Bolt 4 and 8 was the last comment. I had to look up the 8 because I wasn't familiar. It's actually I like the 8. But that's another great point. Like you go down that hole with the African American, like Negro comics on one side of, the not stereotyping, not coming off, and then there's, books on even some of the Spirit covers from back then. And it's just it's American history. It's not like,
Yes.
It's not me. I didn't buy those Spirit covers to be like, haha, I suck. I'm going to go put them up. Like, I don't know. It's.
The other thing too, and I was going to say this earlier, was I'm an English teacher, and we talk a lot about, in my AP classes, we talk a lot about what American literature is. And honestly, one of the few solely American literatures is comic books. And now, granted, I know they were printed in other countries, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying that, like, I think that we can own that as an American thing. And the bad goes with the good. The whole thing is the picture of the history of this medium, and you see the progression of where we started and sort of where it erupted after that, especially superhero comics and things like that. Hollywood virtually wouldn't even exist at the moment without superhero movies with the money they make. I mean, I think that there's a big reason why this stuff continues to be popular, but it came from somewhere, and that somewhere is this stuff that we're talking about. And some of it's taboo, and some of it's a little offensive, some of it's a lot offensive to some people, and some of it is just taking it for what it is in context. It's like reading Huckleberry Finn and seeing the N-word in there. Do you read it out loud in the middle of a class? It depends on your view of the historical value of the text. You see it in Of Mice and Men, one of the greatest books ever written. So that's offensive now, but it certainly wasn't offensive in 1930. Not the same kind of offensive in 1937 when it was written. So taking these comics in their historical context is just as important as taking any other piece of literature, I think, if we're being open-minded about it, and understanding that it wouldn't fly now, but it flew just fine then. And you have to try to put yourself in the mindset of what those people were experiencing during those years, and try to appreciate it. I was going to say enjoy it, but try to appreciate it for what it is, rather than what it would be today.
And what's funny is, for the most part, what got the comic code is the horror and the risque pictures, not
right.
the
not the racism.
Not the. Anyway, I don't know what we're gonna do next week, but
we should maybe tease it. What do we think? What would be fun? Somebody in the chat shoot something out. That's
I don't know, something lighter than tonight, man. I pulled out my book, started going down the rabbit hole. I was like, "Fuck!"
I kind of enjoyed tonight though, because it was.
It had to be. I mean, it's
some social.
Well, think about it. Yeah, we talked about the Japanese racist covers, but we also talked about Porky's. Like we balanced it out.
We balanced it out.
Yeah,
and some beautiful Baker had light covers, and we explained why bondage covers are okay to own in a collection as long as you don't have to explain it to people.
Right.
Like, that's why the 16 is greater than the 17.
I don't know if we want to jump to horror. We could. What else we got out there? What's something that we would enjoy talking about next week.
Comics on stamps.
Well, we got that covered
There's
already,
one.
guys.
We got
Spoiler.
You know one.
I mean, like, we can do Peanuts. I
Yeah, I was
do
gonna
that
say, how
for
about
3
kid
hours.
stuff? Kid stuff.
Funny animal.
Oh no, let's not really do kid stuff.
All right.
Just
I don't,
peanuts.
I don't, funny animal stuff sucks. I want to set it on fire.
I might actually have some funny animal books.
What about
Maybe
Good
I'm gonna
Girl?
Peter Bailey or something around here?
Good Girl and other genres, like
Let's-
cross
Let's at
genre.
least tease. Let's at least tease some horror.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe we'll
We
do some
all have
horror.
some.
Dip a toe.
Horror and then peanuts to balance it out.
All right, horror and peanuts. That's a great
Okay.
graphic.
That's my box. That's the box I'm going to get buried with. Everything else is getting sold.
I love it.
Horror and peanuts, guys.
Yeah,
Horror and
in my
peanuts.
dead
Check it out.
file.
Great pumpkin.
That'll be fun.
Well, thanks to
Rhymes
Ben
against-
Samuels. Thanks to your
Stan
man,
the man.
Stan,
Oh, yeah.
William,
Solo Wookie.
Solo
Solo
Wookie is
Wookie.
everywhere. Love
C.
that guy.
Savengo. I don't know how to say it, my friend. I apologize. But respect
Clemente,
for
I
having
think,
those
from
blue bolts.
Clemente. too.
Yeah. Thanks for all checking in, shooting some comments, educating us in some cases. It's been fun.
Appreciate
Wait.
it. Yeah.
Horror, crime. You know you want.
We'll get into
horror.
crime some other time. Yeah, crime definitely.
Crime's on the list, so we'll do a little horror and
I got
peanuts.
a
That
pile
sounds
of crime, too.
fantastic. little American Pie and a little bit of the other.
Yeah,
So,
I like
I
it.
got it, man. I got the graphic tonight, too.
you probably this is
It could be a
your
week.
avatar, I think. Honestly,
Ah, fuck. All right.
so I don't know. I'll do a little tease out. Check some other stuff on the channel tomorrow night. Tales from the FlipSide is live. The guys and I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we'll figure it out between now and then. Tuesday, Matt and I are doing a Global Comic Safari, dropping a crossover episode with the Foreign Comics Calling podcast, talking about some books and the state of the market and some fun stuff there. Check out Comic Book Invest, and we will be dropping all kinds of good stuff. I know Peter's still got Dollar Bin Digging. Cover Tunes is still coming. Topher has still got True First. And Rumor has it or had it this week?
Had it.
Probably had
I
it.
think it's always got to be had it until August.
We had it probably till the
And
summer.
then we're all going to have had it.
And Ben will drop his Two for Tuesday with the cover article. So thank you
And
all.
Top Variant Tuesday.
Oh, and Top Variant Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Any
Check
other
it out.
Sweet. And then
content I can do.
Fisherman's Tales on Sundays.
Peter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't that a great article? I
And we
enjoyed
have
it.
Get around to
And
it
on,
with the usual
next-
suspects.
check out 3 Comic Money if you've not. It's a show that we've been doing that with the game show theme of 3 covers of a theme, and we've done Jungle and we've done Moon covers. We've got
We did
Skulls coming up.
Skulls
Robots
coming up and Robots. So Skulls and
Skulls.
Robots, which are 2 Golden Age staples. Check them out. We have some Golden Age, some modern stuff. Check those guys out. And like, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel. Thank you all.